All right, folks, we are back. And the reason I'm covering this story is basically because Miley Cyrus, a.k.a. Hannah Montana, is an icon to young people. I mean, it is the biggest thing I've seen since... What was the last big child thing? What do you think? Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What was the Disney thing?
Bebe Kids.
Bebe's Kids? Bebe's Kids was garbage. We all know Bebe's Kids was garbage. That was a garbage show. There she is right there. I'm trying to think. High School Musical I know is big with the kids, but she seems to be even bigger among the youngsters. So this is all to brainwash the youth. Okay? City Year. Young people orientated. And notice that they are targeting a minority audience because of who the president is. I'm not saying, I don't want to be racial about it, but it's true. I mean, they're making these commercials about inner city youth that are supposed to identify with Obama, Yeah, I made a difference. Why can't you? I mean, some of these are well beyond everybody doing jumping jacks going like this, serving their leader. Yeah, just do a year. Just do it. See, right now, it's voluntary. Soon, it's going to be compulsory. And remember, they're going to bring your kids into this. And they're literally teaching your kids that you can't do certain things on the internet. God forbid you hurt somebody's feelings. This is hate speech on a new level. And for them to use Disney super sensation, Hannah Montana. So I think she was the #1 musical artist last year. #1. Can you imagine the cheese? Imagine you had all that cheese right now, Paul. Where'd you be? Hawaii? Huh? What island?
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. That's a cheese fest island right there. So, and then to get your kids at the Boy Scout level. Government readies youth corps to take on vets. This is out of the New York Times. It's just unbelievable. 10 minutes into errant mayhem in this town near the Mexican border, the gunman, a disgruntled Iraq war veteran. Remember, they're training the kids to take out the veterans, the people who, folks, I mean, it's ridiculous. They go out and they say, oh, our soldiers are our best and brightest. They're our future. They're the reason we have freedom in this country. And then they come back and they're already turning on them in the mainstream media and in the government to have them killed by the Boy Scouts. It's absolute ridiculousness. And then this is out of the Mail Online. By the way, we're going to take your calls, 866-582-9933. That's 866-582-9933. Town halls hire citizen snoopers as young as 7 to spy on neighbors and report wrongs. Children as young as 7 are being recruited by councils to act as citizen snoopers, the Daily Mail can reveal. Oh, thank you, Daily Mail, for revealing this. And what's really, really interesting is that this isn't the only kind of program that they got going. We covered it last week. It's the Pledge program, okay? The Pledge program. Now they're going to be pledging. Pledge to be a policeman. Remember that one, Jaron? Can we pull that website up, that Pledge the Police UK website? I know you know what I'm talking about. Great workers back there. Fantastic. The environment volunteers will report on litter louts, noisy neighbors, and even families putting their rubbish out on the wrong day. You see? Everything you do is going to be judged. Everything tracked and traced and snooped on. This is the new Stasi force. And remember, Obama is talking about these new emission standards. They're already doing the cap and trade. It's carbon tax time, America. You're going to pay to breathe. It's not funny. It's terrible. A carbon tax. You're going to pay a carbon tax. Do you understand? You're going to be ridiculed about your garbage, the size of your home, the energy you use, the cars you drive. I don't like to give Glenn Beck any attention, but earlier tonight he had Ben Stein on. And not only is Ben Stein on the program, but even weirder, they're eating Chinese food. And they're talking about this new emission standard. And Stein said something like they're going to take his Mercedes-Benz out of his cold, dead hand. And good for him. I actually like Ben Stein. Expelled No Intelligence Here is a great documentary. Let's see. There are currently almost 9,000 people signed up to the schemes. More are likely to be recruited in the coming months. Controversially, some councils are running junior schemes, which are recruiting children. So it's not just children that are tattletaling. It's the hipsters with their digital cameras. That's really nice. Just lovely. I love this world. And if you're in the UK anyway, I mean, You go down to London, 300 plus times a day you're photographed and filmed. I mean, that's the new Snoop Society. You know, I want to do a little swine flu news, and then we're going to go to Josh, Bob, Jason, and Steven. Baby in New York City dies of possible swine flu. Again, we don't really have any confirmed deaths, but everything is swine flu. The two in Texas were a total and complete hoax. That kid was a Mexican who had been a premature birth that came over the border and had chronic illnesses and then died. And then this 33-year-old woman who died after childbirth also had chronic illnesses, and the officials officially said that swine flu did not kill her, yet the media just jumped on it. Then there were some other ones. Apparently the superintendent died. He wasn't in. See, they always have to admit in these articles that they have something else. Something else is going on. This guy had gout, okay, and he died. Yeah, you don't want the gout. And he was too heavy. He didn't take care of himself. Now they're saying a baby in New York City has died of possible swine flu. The New York City Health Department is investigating the death of a toddler as a possible swine flu case. The 16-month-old boy died Monday night at Elmhurst Hospital Center in Queens. Hospital officials said he had a high fever when he was brought in. Health Department spokeswoman Jessica Scarpupi confirmed the investigation, but said the agency does not discuss specific cases. It's not known yet how long the investigation will take. We'll see, but these stories are going to be appearing for the next few months until they get the nice, tasty vaccinations ready for everybody, and then they try to pass mandatory vaccinations. We played the clip again last week on the Today Show where they're like, yeah, it's going to be a 3-spot shot. 3 shots, mandatory all the way across. And remember, if they just go one level higher, they raise the pandemic level to 5. If they go to 6, according to 1.51 of the WHO Pandemic Preparedness Planning document, you have no civil rights. It says right here, during a pandemic, it may be necessary to overrule existing legislation or individual human rights. Examples are the enforcement of quarantine, overruling individual freedom and movement, use of privately owned buildings for hospitals, off-license use of drugs, compulsory vaccinations, or implementation of emergency shifts in essential services. These decisions need a legal framework to ensure transparent assessments and justification of the measures that are being considered, and to ensure coherence with international legislation, international health regulations. No human rights, no civil rights. The drugs don't have to work. They can vaccinate you and quarantine you. Period. Amen. Absolutely terrible. All right, let's go to Josh in Tennessee. Josh, you're on the air.
Hey, Jason. Basically, you know, I've been listening to you for a long time now and stuff like that, but I want to get down to the basics. I'm talking about, like, the globalists, like, what is their mindset? Like, do they think, obviously, you know, you and I, as human beings, we realize that one day we will die, whether it be from natural causes or whatever. Do these guys think that they will, like, be hooked up to machines and, like, live forever? And like,
some of them do. Some of them don't even think that they're going to be hooked up to machines. The machines will be hooked into them. So,
yeah,
in other words...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, do they think that they'll live forever and just, like, be, like, you know, the ruling elite over
Kurzweil openly writes about it. You should really read some Stephen Kurzweil. I mean, he literally thinks he's going to be one of them. And he is, he's more than middle-aged. I think he's in his 50s or 60s. And, you know, he really thinks that the life extension and then beyond life extension technology will exist. It'll be on a high slope. He also writes about how it probably won't be available for the majority of the populace, and that we need a sustainable populace. You know, all the things that the elite talk about, population sustainability, they all talk about the environment. But he talks about how we'll even be able to transcend our actual physical bodies and basically travel the universe as beings of light and being able to take any form we want at some point. Which is just, it's mind-blowing.
I mean, is that not nuts? Is that not, like, totally just, I mean, what is he smoking, man? I mean,
hey, Kurzweil is a genius at some point, but at some point, you know, he's a madman. And people don't want to own up to it. Yeah, exactly. All right, Joshua, thank you for the call, brother. I'm going to jump to Bob in Minnesota. Bob, you're on the line. Yes, sir.
Hey, Jason, how's it going?
Good, man.
I want to go back to that Miley Cyrus thing. If you notice in the media recently, they've been just attacking it seems like every single huge website that's out there. Craigslist is a huge example. The Craigslist killer, you know.
The Craigslist killer, they're kind of demonizing Twitter. And can you turn down the radio? Lots of feedback. Anyway, the Craigslist killer is a great example. And then on top of that, you have them talking about